All right, I just wanted to do a real quick one here. We just got done talking about sympathy and empathy in our medical class here. We had a bunch of readings kind of going over that, and just, DNR types of things, do not resuscitate, and other, things. But what I wanted to also talk about, because I was looking at these words, and I wanted to just, at a most, the true sense of words, and being able to actually delineate the true sense of words and understanding the difference, the similarities, the comparisons, if you will. And I was looking at these words because compassion, sympathy, empathy, how do they all relate? How do they correlate? Well, I love these words, and I think that we can we learn empathy? Can we learn how to think empathetically? Does that sound fake? I don't know. But I think empathy really comes from a lot of personal experience. Life, living, struggling. Life, the quote is not life is suffering. Life has suffering, though, and we see it. Pathos in the Greek meaning suffering, and or feeling in this case. To feel and to suffer with. Well, when you are sympathetic, you are not empathetic. M gives it a little bit of a deeper layer, if you will. So if you are sympathetic, let's say this is kind of like top tier. It's where you can feel and you can suffer with that person, but you also don't have that relatableness to the actual event or the whatever they're going through at that point. But you know that they're having a hard time. You know that they're sad, they're depressed, they're angry, they're anxious. You know that humans can have those emotions. And so you feel with them. You have an explanatory model. You ask them how they're feeling, what they think, what they feel. However, though, when you empathize with someone, you have that relatable experience to feel within them and to suffer with them and tell them that, you know what, I get it. I get it, I understand. Maybe not completely to the degree that you are, but I know what you're feeling because I've gone through something so similar and or the same. Oddly enough, though, compassion is the Latin form, which really just means sympathy again, because coming from cum, with, passus, past participial form, having suffered with, suffering with, suffering within. So those are the differences. And I've gotten some flack using the word sympathy sometimes, and I think that those come from people that don't really understand and give it a negative connotation. Like when you've heard of the word sympathetic, sometimes people don't like that word because it can connote and or connotate to certain things and or movements. When you're sympathetic to a movement, usually those are not the best. It means that you're kind of just falling in line. But you can also fall in line to a good cause, right? So if you didn't know, now you know. This is also where you get the Passion of the Christ, right? That movie back in the day. My parents wouldn't actually let me see it because it was R. I actually still haven't ever seen that movie. I grew up Catholic though. Not practicing, but I got that Catholic guilt. Shout out whoever does as well. I feel you and I empathize with you. Ha! So, Passion of the Christ, really referring to the suffering of Christ, because don't tell me that when you get nailed up to a cross, you're not suffering. I love Jesus. I wish religion would actually do what Jesus did, right? Jesus took in everybody, the lepers, the prostitutes, the tax collectors. I don't see church really doing that nowadays. Jesus would have been taking in all the gays, all the non-binaries, all the they-thems. Is church doing that? I'm gonna leave it there. Mike, drop. I know I'm right. And I know I don't say that very often because it sounds very egotistical, but the two things that I know that I'm right about are that I'm a really good teacher and my name is Liam Connerly. Help us get right.